thank you so much to everybody for all of the messages and comments and the flowers, the fruit baskets, the gift cards, the cryptocurrency. You guys have just been so amazing with all of it. So, to those of you who don't give a shit about anybody but yourself, um, my roommate Jake Gyllenhaal is in the intensive care unit. He's in the ICU. He's in the emergency room. He's in the ER. Whatever option is the most dramatic way to say it. Whatever gets us the most social media. So I may or may not allegedly this. You know what? Just listen to episode 21. I can't be responsible for telling you all of this, but the bottom line is my roommate Jake Gyllenhaal. I didn't water him for like 7 weeks, allegedly, but it's true. And so I got home and he was in bad shape. He was dry, he was brown, he was crispy, he was crunchy. All of his limbs were falling off. His greenness was looking very pale. His white stripes were very white, which was a problem. And so basically, I had to rush him to the emergency room, which is what I call my kitchen sink, and we took him in for treatment. And to those of you who do not know, Jake Gyllenhaal is a plant who lives on my balcony. And I waterboarded him. I drowned him. I just soaked him in water. The nurse was like, "What about an IV drip?" And I was like, "You're not a doctor. Get the fuck away from me." You know what I mean? You're not a doctor. You're a nurse. You're a registered nurse, but you're a nurse. You're not a nurse practitioner. You're not a PA, which is a physician's assistant, which are also not doctors. I don't even know if they're nurses. Like, what even are you? You know what I mean? Would you like to see the PA? No. No, I would not. I'd like to see the doctor. Thank you. So I drowned him. I waterboarded him, and we can't make this whole episode about Jake, even though it is about Jake, but it's an update on how he's doing. So, Jake is not dead. So here's the update on Jake Gyllenhaal, my roommate who's a plant who lives on my balcony. Jake is not dead yet. He's going to die at some point. We're all going to die at some point. Am I helping comfort you and make you feel better? You're not going to die for a really long time. Oh, like probably like 100 years. Like super, like I wouldn't even think about it. Go eat some ice cream. You'll be okay. Eat some weed edibles and then eat the ice cream. So, Jake is not dead, and he's bouncing back, dude. Now I still want to garner sympathy because I still want you guys to keep sending like flowers and which kind of fucked up when you think about it because Jake's a plant. It's like, what are you like sending like more of like his people to him? That's kind of weird. But the edible arrangements, those are nice, like the chocolate covered bananas and strawberries and I'm not a real big fan of just the fruit ones. I mean, Jake isn't Jake isn't a really big fan of the all fruit ones. He prefers the chocolate dipped ones. Um he told me. I mean, he's been in a coma, but he told me. We're very close. We're basically like brothers at this point. And he just kind of let me know with a vibe. Microphone plugged in all the way. We're doing this episode from my bed because the podcast studio is currently being moved to a new location. I'm moving apartments, but I'm staying in this same building. I'm just like moving to a different floor. And so it's kind of like there's pros and cons. But anyway, back to Jake Gyllenhaal. We can do a whole episode on the move. So Jake, he's in the ICU, but he's doing good. His color's coming back. He's more moist. He's not as crispy. I think he's stopped losing limbs, and he like his green is coming back. You know what I mean? And but there's still the problem of his nurse stealing his pudding cup. So I think his nurse is stealing his pudding cup. I really don't know how else to say it. I know that like I could excuse me, legally I could get in trouble for accusing somebody of doing something that they're not doing, and I know in today's culture that's like inappropriate. But um you know, where's his pudding cup? Where's his cuss word, swear word, cursing word pudding cup? You know what I mean? Like, where is it? So I think his nurse is stealing his pudding cup. And, if he paid taxes, he would be very upset about that. Now, um, does Jake have health insurance? No. But when I admitted him to the hospital, I said that he did because I lied for a good cause. I didn't want him to die. Okay? So, next time your friend's in trouble, maybe lie for them. Unless I guess you don't care about, you need to start caring about some people besides yourself. If you're not lying to get your friends into hospitals, what are you doing? I think you need to take a hard look at yourself in the mirror and just think, what's going on, So Jake is good. He came out of his coma like for a little bit to ask about his pudding cup. And then when he found out that his nurse allegedly was stealing his pudding cup, he blacked out again, and we haven't been able to resuscitate him. But we'll probably just do the like clear and like the paddles on his chest. I just have to figure out which leaf is his chest, you know what I mean? Here's the thing. I don't want him to die because I don't want to go back to living alone. I don't want to make this all about me, but I will. I am the main character of the apartment. Jake is a side character. His whole existence is to help me on my journey, on my hero's journey. And my hero's journey is I don't want to be sad because of living alone. So it's been a lot harder on me, this whole situation with Jake, because if he dies, what am I supposed to do? I can't just get another roommate. You know what I mean? First of all, I don't really want to use Craigslist because, controversial opinion, but I don't really trust Craigslist. You know what I mean? There's like a free section, and it's like, well, why doesn't everybody use that then? You know what I mean? Because they all get murdered, maybe. So I've only seen the first 4 seasons of Dexter, so don't tell me what happens after Rita dies. Which I did not like her. I didn't like her. Anyway, we shouldn't be talking about all this death because Jake is going to live. I really think he's going to pull through. I really think I'm going to get his nurse fired because she keeps stealing his pudding cups. And, like, if it was just, like, vanilla pudding, I probably wouldn't care. But I think it's, like, the chocolate pudding with the little squiggle in the middle. I also heard a rumor that some people get rice pudding, which is... I think that's more of, like, the first class wings. I checked him into economy because... even though we're not going to end up paying for it, I feel like if we did the first class hospital wing, it would have just made too much of like a scandal. You know what I mean? So we wanted to kind of like fly under the radar. I checked him in under a fake name. We're just going to do that whole, like when it's time to leave, we're going to do that whole movie thing where like I put him in a wheelchair and I like dress him up as like a nurse or something, and then like I put on like a doctor coat and I dress up as a doctor. And then I'm just like, nurse. And we'll just wheel him outside and we'll drive away. I'm pretty sure he's not going to die. I hope he doesn't die because I don't want to be alone. And, I'm giving him water, which is basically his medicine. And it's been really emotional. It's been really hard for me to deal with because technically I did put him in this position because I didn't water him for 7 weeks. But in my defense, I forgot. And I came back and I just didn't want to really face him. So I was actually home for like 8 days before I looked at him because I just didn't want to really deal with it. It was kind of like the ADHD, like, what's that thing called that we made up to justify our behavior? Executive dysfunction. Yeah, it was like that. I was like, I just couldn't bring myself to face him. So, so I don't think Jake's gonna die. Thank you once again to everybody for sending all of the edible arrangements, and please just send the chocolate ones. Thank you guys for listening to this episode of the podcast, episode 22. We're keeping it around 10 minutes. Looking at it's about 12 to 13 by the time we wrap everything up. You guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you're not subscribed to the podcast, please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and stream audio. Subscribe on YouTube so you can watch, and for all my long form content, be sure to follow me on social media. Search Delusions of Grandeur with Matty K, or just at DOGWMK on all platforms. You can email. I do check my spam folder. So DOGWMK podcast at gmail.com. And thank you guys for listening to this episode. And please send Jake lots of flowers. And man, I've been doing so many like long 1-2 hour episodes that these like 10-minute ones, they go by so quickly. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. If this is over and you're sad, watch and or listen to this episode again. Or guess what? There's 21 more episodes to listen to or watch, and thousands of 1-minute videos, memes, and other content on my social media. So thank you guys for being here, and I will see you in episode 23. Hang loose, pal. And Jake Gyllenhaal says that he loves you guys. All right. Bye.